Good morning. So, I want to talk about what is your destiny and purpose in this life, and tell a little story about how I realized what my destiny is, what it means, even because I think for years and years and years, most of my life, I walked around with this open question. What is my destiny? What am I supposed to be doing? What is the point of my existence? I have a destiny. I can feel it. And right now I'm in Nakhlamud. I'll show you. So I hiked partially up this mountain, just a little ways up. Over there is that pillar. It looks kind of like a grandpa. You can see it kind of looks like a grandpa from the side profile view. There's a cave over there across the way. So it's morning now. I'm getting ready to start my day. I'm hiking. I'm on my way hiking back to my car. And I just thought I would do a quick video on this. Um, Actually, when I came to the realization in this valley of what is a destiny. I was a few years ago. I was hiking, and in the middle of the way, I met a mother and daughter. The daughter was probably a little around my age, maybe a little bit older, and the mother was in her 70s. And I sat down, I started talking to the mother, and the daughter was a little bit a little bit further away. And I could tell that she was going through something. Could see that she was having a difficult time emotionally. She wasn't so much in the conversation. We were having a really deep spiritual conversation with her mother. And slowly she started coming closer. I don't remember exactly what the conversation was, but she slowly started moving closer to us. And then she said, um, and her depression, she talked a little bit about her depression, that her depression came after a breakup, and that she used to think that she knew what her what her destiny was, what she was meant to be doing in this lifetime, and now she's not so sure. And I asked her what it was, and she said that she was doing ayahuasca ceremonies. People would come to her, and she was like a guide through ayahuasca ceremonies, and it kind of blew my mind because in order to be able to um, hold hold an ayahuasca circle, you have to be highly spiritual and you have to be sound in your place. And it kind of hit me as wow. She was doing ayahuasca circles with people, and now she seems so lost and so broken. And what came to me straight away to tell her, and this is channeling, this is like a divine knowing that comes through, is that your destiny can't be something in the physical world, because we are constantly evolving. We are constantly growing. So it can't be that your purpose is something that is stuck in the physical world, because whatever's in the physical world is already here. It's not something that is evolving. So as long as we are evolving creatures, and what we were a year ago is not what we're going to be in a year, or what we are even now, we're constantly growing. So then our destiny is also constantly broadening. It's constantly growing. It can't be stuck in the physical world. And that is something, I told her that because she is always progress, the destiny, her destiny has to be in progression with her, because she's always growing and always has more to give. And this was like a real, by being able to see it in her, I was able to get that gift too. Like it came through me as a message to her, but I also got the message in myself. And then after we finished the conversation, I was walking, and there was water running through the valley. It must have been in the winter. And I was thinking about all of the things that are in existence, everything that is. Everything that I am is made up of all of everything that is. All of the minerals and metals and calcium and everything that runs through me runs through the entire earth. I am one makeup, one unique being, one unique example of what things on this earth that already exist in this earth can bring to be. So I am like one sculpture of the all, one example in infinity of the makeup of the universe or the makeup of God or whatever you want to call it, the all. I still didn't have. I still when I had this realization, I understood that we're all connected and everything is connected, and that I am a part of everything and everything is a part of me, and I'm integrated, like in what is the word? There's a different word, not integrated. It's but it like can't be separate from, and the all can't be separate from me. So my existence is dependent on the all, and the all's existence is also dependent on me because I'm a part of it all. You can't remove one single atom from this big mishmash of this big cycle of life. You can't remove one single atom without there being a massive explosion or massive effects, because we all belong and we're all part of it, and it's all interconnected, and it's all of the same importance. Everything is of the same importance for existence in everything. And then I realized that, wow, I am one single makeup, one example of what can be made from the earth, this body, and I know that what is accurate in the physical world is also accurate in the non-physical world, the spiritual world. So also my personality and my being's makeup, I'm two parts. There's always the black and white. There's always the contrast. So there's two parts of me. So the spirit of me and the personality of me and the way that I am is the only one in existence, the only one that can be. And also this body is the only one that has ever been, that can ever be, the exact makeup of the exact atoms, of the exact everything that had to come to be to make me. The exact uh, egg and sperm and mishmash of my two parents, but the parents that came before them, the parents that came before them, the parents that came before them, and everything that came before, all the way up to Adam and Eve and to the time of creation. Everything is dependent on that sequence of events that happened in order to make me be who I am. And I am perfect. I'm the only one. And I'm the only one that got this cool body and this cool voice and this cool thoughts. I'm the only one unique like me that has ever been in existence. And for me to be shy of that, or I realized that, whoa, it's my destiny, it's my responsibility to bring this. This is an expression of God. It's an expression of the all. It's one personal expression, and it is my job to bring this expression out into the open, see what it is, see what abilities it has, see what capabilities it has, bring it to its full capacity. you know sing whatever. I'm metaphorically, right, sing what I've come to sing, be proud of it. It's like I am one expression. If I don't bring me out into the world, then who will? Nobody else can bring me out, because nobody else can even know what is inside of me to bring out. I'm the only one. And the only way I can do this is by clearing myself of all the negativity and all the thoughts that I'm not enough. Or, when you think about it, we are all enough. We're all one unique expression of what this creation can bring to the world. And by being shy of who we are, or not bringing ourselves out into expression, is kind of like, or thinking that we are imperfect in any way, it's kind of like spitting from the well that you're drinking from. It's kind of like, God, I'm God's gift to God. God gets expression through me. And if I'm shy to express myself and not in full expression and not fully bringing myself to be, then I'm denying God. I'm denying myself. I'm denying the universe. I'm denying, you know, how many expressions have come to be and that didn't even have a chance to start expressing themselves. I take advantage of it. And I mean, take advantage of it in a positive way. As long as I have life to live, then live it and live it to the fullest and bring this avatar out into the open and say, hey, cool, look at this. Look what this body knows how to do. Bring this body into full expression. I think that also these videos, a lot of the way that I've been able to open up in front of the camera is in the knowing of this. And so it hit me like, it hit me like, not only is it my right, it's almost like my obligation and my responsibility to show off this avatar and everything that it has to show off. This is one expression, one life that I got here. And for me to like be shy of who I am is the same thing as it's the two sides of the spectrum. To be shy of who you are, or to be a show off of who you are, is both thinking that it's me. I am an expression of this universe, one makeup that ever was, that ever will be, of one expression of what can be made from the things that exist here. Just like this piece of straw is one expression of what can be made from everything. This came out of the ground. It's made up of the same things that my body is made up of. I eat things like this. This is what I'm made up of. I am mixed. I'm a mixture of everything that is here. I'm connected, intertwined, uh, not apart from, a part of, and in perfect synchronicity, perfect sync with the thought that I'm not in perfect synchronicity is just a thought. It's just that. It's me making up stories. Because I have to be in perfect synchronicity with everything around me in order to exist. The food that I eat comes from the ground. The person that I am, the thoughts that I have, the language that I speak is based on generations before me. You know, thinking that I'm apart from everything else and that I'm just, is see, it's kind of paradoxical because I am a part of everything and it is my responsibility to bring this part out and sing with it and bring it out into the open and hopefully inspire others to do the same. And in the same breath, I am separate from. Like, I am the one unique being that came into the world in this body, in this avatar. I have the right of expression. I have expression that is only mine. This voice and the way that I talk and the way that I see things and the way that thoughts come through me or knowledge comes through me, the way that I explain things, the way that I see things is unique to me. And each and every one of us is the same thing. And and I have a certain vibe that I bring into the world. And so I realized that my destiny, when I was walking here, that how I was looking at the water and I was thinking, oh, I'm made up mostly of water, of this same water that's running in the stream. And I was looking at the frogs and I was looking at the plants and I was thinking, I'm one makeup of all of this. And so my destiny is to be a clear, clean expression of me and bring into the world whatever is flowing through this expression. So my destiny is to be the purest expression of this that I can be, is allowing God to flow through me and allowing the all to get expression through me, showing off what the all, everything that the all has to offer. Look at me. Look at this. I'm part of the universe, and look at the beauty and what the universe has to offer. And I know that that won't speak to everybody, but it doesn't have to. I know that we are all connected to different energy fields and different vibrations, and we come from different tribes and we come from different ways of thinking. And some people will connect to me and some people will connect to somebody else. That's why there's so many different teachers and there's so many different ways of being and ways of expressing yourself. And we're all mirrors. So so when somebody meets me, they see parts of themselves in me, and even in just seeing that I openly express myself and bring my thoughts forth and and with pride, like, yeah, this is what's given to me to give. And so even just that is inspiring in itself. And even if it just gets to one person and one person is inspired and their experience, and they understand what I'm talking about, and their experience becomes richer because of it, then this expression was worth it. Besides the fact that how good it feels to when you're fully in expression, you feel like you can breathe, you're in expression, and that in itself is like the signature. It's like the knowing that it's correct, because when you get into the place where you're bringing yourself forth, then all of a sudden you have this, like, you can breathe. You know that you're in the right place, and you can feel when something is right. You just feel it. And and when you're not in expression, then everything starts backing up. Everything starts backing up. You start getting mad. You start getting nervous. When you're not fully bringing yourself forward into the world, you start feeling this lack of not completing your destiny, because your destiny is just to be. And so when I realized this, I like went into the state of euphoria. I think for a couple of weeks, I was walking around with this like state of complete euphoria, like, oh wow, I'm just an expression, I'm a light, and I'm imagining everybody bringing themselves out into the open and being an expression and shining their magnificent light into the universe, and being, inspiring others to do the same. And and then I was sitting in my yard. It was in the house that I lived before, so it must have been at least like 4 years ago or so. And I was sitting there, and then I was thinking, I was imagining like energetically, because I see things energetically. And I was imagining all these lights, walking around, these people as lights walking around and expressing themselves in full expression. And I was thinking, okay, well, it kind of touches on that. If a tree falls in the forest and there's nobody there to see it, then what's the point? Like, does it make a sound, really? The answer with that, like the proper answer, is that all it makes is a vibration. Our ears interpret it into sound. If there is no ears there that filter it into sound, there is no sound. There's only a vibration. It's we as animals hear it as a sound. So it's because one of our senses is having, there's a video I need to do about senses, realizations that I've had about senses. I need to remind myself to do that one, because that's really interesting. It's the realizations that I've had, that the only way that we can perceive the world is through our senses, in this physical body. So we are very, very, very dependent on our senses. But I don't want to get off track. And also, we only have like five senses. So imagine, if you didn't have smell, would you be able to imagine smell? If you didn't have eyesight, or if you didn't have ears to hear things, would you be able to imagine it? So imagine how many other things there are out there that we just don't have the senses to pick up on. And we know that there are other things because there are animals that have like these magnet senses in them and know how to migrate thousands and thousands of miles to a specific tree, that just by automatic. And besides, like, how do people know how to mate? If you're not taught how to mate, it's an instinct. It's something that you have built in you. So there are these other senses that we have that we're just not acute to, and there are other things all around us all the time that we just don't have the sensory to pick up on. It's like when you first, right now, there's radio waves that are going through the land everywhere. There's vibrations everywhere. But when you don't have the mechanism that you need to pick up on where you don't have a radio that tunes into those waves, you're oblivious to it. You don't see it. So imagine how many things there are like that we don't have the senses to pick up on, that are all around us all the time. You can feel that with emotions. You can feel, you can connect to any emotion that you want to. All of the vibrations of all of the emotions are all around us all the time, and we're like a radio picking up on these different emotions. um, and the vibrations are all the time with us. And there are people that are mediums, and also like me, that can express emotion everybody expresses emotion, which is a vibration, and other people can pick up on the emotion. But with empaths, I can connect to other people's emotions. I can feel exactly what they're feeling. This is something that only in the last few years have I really realized that I do. And I really want to get back on the destiny, because I didn't finish the destiny. Just so you know, there's more to it. The whole second half of it. So I only went over one half of it, but I'll do it shorter because you already get the gist of it. Um, but with emotions, as being an empath, I can pick up on other people's emotions. And most of my life, I didn't know that I was picking up on other people's emotions. I thought that those emotions were mine. And it really can put you in a state of unease, because you don't realize. But when you do realize that those emotions are not mine, they belong to somebody else, and then you can be with them in their emotion and know exactly what they feel, which is strength, and which is like a superpower. And so you can be with them in there, but you can also guide them out of there. So you can know exactly where they are in their emotions, and you can feel it with them, vibe it with them, so that you can really connect to them and have empathy with them and understand what they are feeling. But at the same time, because do alchemy with the emotions, you can take that emotion. Because I can be in that emotion with them, I can slowly lift them out of that emotion into a higher vibration. So that is some just thoughts about senses and thoughts about emotions and being an empath. And so the second half, the second part of the what is your destiny, because everything is black and white, everything has to have contrast. It can't just be that we're all out spreading our light. What's it worth if there isn't anybody to see the light, or to be in a like a witness to it, or to get something from it, or for it to make an impact on the world, or to make a change in the world? Because this whole existence is all about expansion, and humankind is about expansion. We're constantly expanding our consciousness. It's just like I said, if we are beings that are constantly growing and expanding, your destiny can't be set in stone, because where I was 2 years ago is not where I am right now. So my destiny has to be fluid, just like I'm fluid, and has to progress. So doing ayahuasca circles, as important of work it is, that can't be what your destiny is. Your destiny has to be something that can be one of your tools that you use, but your destiny has to be something that is coming out of you. And then I realized it's just being an expression of your true self. And then finding your true self, that's the work that we have to do in the expansion, is unteaching ourselves all the things that we were taught, knowing them still, but unteaching ourselves, going back to being a purity, like a child, having the child's mind, which is pure, seeing things as they are, staying fluid, not having any kind of not having anything set in stone of the way that you think. There are absolute truths, because there's God truths. There's patterns in the universe. When you learn these patterns, you can work with these patterns, and then it's added power to power. So when you learn the power, and you are get into the flow of the universe, that means work with the patterns of the universe, not fighting against, like, oh, why isn't this working for me? I need to make it work. No, if it's not working for you, it's because something in what you're doing is out of sync with the natural flow and the natural pattern of things. If you're having a low thought, you're not going to have a high vibrational output. If you're doing something and you're hitting up against reality, like you want to be right, and you're going to do it your way, and you're going to make it happen your way, you're fighting against the natural way of things, instead of just looking at, okay, well, if I'm not getting the outcome that I want, then I need to look at the input that I'm putting in and see what in my behavior is causing this outcome to be. So it's kind of like manifesting. It is the same thing as manifesting. So I had this realization, like, okay, so what is the point if everybody's walking around just shining their lights, and there's nobody there to receive the light? Then what is the point? And then I realized that there's two parts of it. And then when I realized that there was two parts of it, it was like even a bigger, like, wow, I realized what our destiny is. Our destiny is to be in full expression of who we are, but also to be a witness to others' expressions. And in this, we create this synchronicity, because when we're in full expression, others can learn from our expression. But you also have to take the ego out of it. It's not like my expression is better than anybody else's expression. We all have what to bring. And so when we try to say, oh, I'm more special than anybody else, the ego gets in there, and then you lose it. First of all, you lose the purity of the expression that you are, because you're thinking that it's you, and you're not understanding that it's God that's flowing through you, and you're thinking that you are your ego, which you are not. You are just your ego is a tool for you to use, which creates the separateness from the all, which gives you a personal, individual experience and your own path in which to grow from. And so in realizing this, you become interested and curious about other people's expressions, like, because you realize that I'm a unique expression, but wait a minute, so is everybody else. Let me look at this avatar and see what funky thing that guy's got going through him. And you can see and then you start seeing all the places where they're stuck, or you start seeing all the places, or what made that person be like that. Even when you meet the most annoying person, the person that has like all sorts of mental, limitations, or somebody that really annoys you, or somebody that has these fits of anger, or really deep rooted insecurities, or things that just annoy you, or things that make you happy, or things that are like, oh, that guy is really quirky, look what he's doing. Or you start getting interested in the expressions of others, because you realize that, oh, that guy, every single person that you meet is one unique expression of God. And you become really curious, and you also realize that every single person has their own individual path that they've been on, and things that they've learned, and their own individual circumstances and experiences that I haven't had. And that every single person, I have what to learn from them, and every single person is the way that they are because of certain things. And you realize also that we don't even see ourselves. The only way that we see ourselves is through the mirrors of seeing ourselves in others. Seeing an expression that is kind of like me in another person, and then I can see myself through them. And that's also how we do our own self-work. We see our traits in other people, and we can either say, oh, wow, anything that we can recognize in another, we have in ourselves. Otherwise, we wouldn't see it. I once met somebody and I'm going a little bit off track. I'm gonna do it real quick. I once met somebody that I just couldn't communicate with. We spoke the same language, we used the same words, but I couldn't understand what he was saying, and he couldn't understand. It was like the conversation kept on getting frustrating, and I realized after I just couldn't communicate with him. It was frustrating, and finally, I just told my husband back then when I was married. I said, "Listen, you're gonna have to talk to him, because him and I, we don't, like, something in us is like we can't communicate." And I mean that we couldn't, like, he couldn't get his point across to me, and I couldn't get my point across to him. We just didn't seem to speak the vibrational same language. We just didn't connect on any level. And it was not that I didn't like him, it's just that I couldn't connect to him in any way. I couldn't communicate with him, even though we spoke the same language, and my husband could. And so I just told him, listen, you're going to have to talk to him. I'm not going to be able to talk to him. He was a travel agent, and he was trying to help us get tickets to Israel when we lived in the States. And so anybody that we do connect to, we connect to in different places and different aspects of our personality. And every single person that we meet reflects ourselves back to us in a different way. That's why this jealousy thing also, with when you get married and you can't talk to another man or something, that I was talking about on a different video that I had throughout my marriage. I've been having so many things from my marriage come up lately in the last couple of weeks. So many different memories of things that happened that I hadn't thought about in years. And the thing is that it's coming up non-traumatically. Like I'm post-traumatic from my marriage and from my divorce. I'm actually diagnosed with chronic post-trauma. But I really have been doing the work in myself, because I realize that anything that is in our mind is created by our mind, and we can fix within our mind if we're willing to do it and willing to look at the traumas and willing to go through them. And so now I'm realizing that all of these thoughts and all of these things that I've been through are coming up as memories, but I don't feel the trauma around them. They're just coming up as memories. Sometimes I'll be like, "Oh man, that was a bummer. That was a bummer that I was like that, or that I had to go through that," or just like I would look at somebody else and say, "Oh, that's," and have compassion for myself, but I'm not feeling it traumatically. I'm not feeling the emotion of it. I'm not feeling like the loss, or mad, or any of the, traumatic, or hurt, or anything. It's just having the memories clean and clear, being able to remember them and see them and say, "Oh yeah, that did happen. That really did happen. No, that happened." And just kind of like in an accepting kind of way, kind of numb, but not really numb like hiding from it. Just it doesn't spark the same emotions as it used to. It doesn't make me have pain, or like, or why did that happen to me, or why did I have to go through that happen to me. That's the expression of being. And also another thing that I'm really happy about is that I don't feel like I'm a victim anymore. I used to feel like I was the victim. I don't feel like I'm the victim anymore. I feel like it was also part of my life plan and destiny. And I was there for a reason. I got the lessons. That's why I can think of those things now, those things that were traumatic for me. And I can think of them now without trauma. And so the second part of it, of what is my destiny, is being a witness to other people's destiny, being a witness to other people's expression. And when you think about, when you find something that is perfect, it's perfect in so many different ways. And when you think about it, it's like an upward spiral, because when you be in full expression and you're watching other people's expressions, it's like you learn from it. You learn from their expression, and you see yourself through their expression. When you get the ego out and you stop trying to make yourself more important than other people, and trying to get your point across when other people are talking, then you can be just a pure witness to their expressions. And you're like, "Oh, look at that guy go. Look at that girl. Look what she's doing. Look how she's," and you can learn from it and take examples from it, because we have this one linear life in this physical world, right? When we go back into the all, okay, so we can be in it. Time isn't linear. Time is everything. That's why we have reincarnations, and we can go and visit in different timelines, and we can actually see different timelines when we become so far connected. And we can go out of this body into the higher planes, and receive our gifts. And that's how we also connect telepathically with our twin, also on this twin flame journey. And also on a spiritual awakening, it's all part of that. Our spirit is connecting, and through meditation, folks, through meditation. I want to say this. I want to like say it. Whoever will take that advice, I promise you that it is a big payoff in this lifetime. Meditation connects you to the all. And I do meditation first thing in the morning, before I'm even in a complete wake state, because I'm already in that connective subconscious mode. And it's much easier to get into the plane of creation, and the God plane, from when you wake up in the morning. It's just much easier before you get into your avatar life and the 3D life and the physical life. So the second part is, and so I realized how perfect it is, because it gets into this spiral of 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 being in full expression, but also learning from other people's experiences and other people's expression. You can see the life light in other people, and then you can, and you get inspired by it. It feeds itself. It's like this upward spiral when you can connect in that way. It's really amazing. And so that is the story of what is my destiny, the question that I've had many times, and the question that I've heard many times. What is my destiny? The destiny is to be in full expression of who you are, and to be a witness to others' expressions. Um, and then that cycle kind of feeds itself, and there's so much joy in it, because when you're in full expression of yourself, then you feel alive, and you feel vibrant, and you want to go out and experience life so that you can be in expression, and so that you can connect to everything. So it's really um, something that feeds itself. And when you start being when you start in this process of becoming a full expression of yourself, a natural expression of yourself, naturally things that aren't you, that are the consensus of the all, because in order to fully express yourself, you have to fully know yourself. And so in the looking for yourself, you clean yourself and purify yourself. So thank you.